everyone, it's Heather Nichols, and today I'm going to share with you how I created this magical mini slim shaker birthday card. It all starts with the Little Critters stamp set and the coordinating Just Saying stamp set. I'm using the mini slim square window cutting plate die as well as the mini slim candy cane stripes stencil. For ink, I'll be using Oreo, Cookie Monster, pineapple, and guava. I'll also be using my blender brushes. I'll be coloring my images with Copic markers and doing shading with Prismacolor pencils and blending with Gamsol and paper stumps. I have pixie spray to hold my stencil in place. I'll add splatters with sugar cube ink refill and a water brush. For adhesives, I have foam sticky strips and sticky tape in 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch. And finally, I'll be using bits and pieces sparkly stars. I'm starting my project by doing a pretty rainbow blend on a piece of sugar cube cardstock. I'll start with guava at the top, and I'm going to blend in a diagonal kind of direction. I'll do guava, and then I will do pineapple, and then I will do Cookie Monster. Where these colors overlap will create additional colors to complete my rainbow. Where guava and pineapple overlap, there'll be a pretty orange color, and where Cookie Monster and pineapple overlap, there'll be a pretty green color. Once my rainbow blend is done, I'll add the candy cane stripe stencil over the top. I'm using pixie spray to hold that stencil in place, and then I'll take my blender brushes and I'll do that same rainbow blend over the top with the stencil in place. When I'm done blending, I'll peel that stencil up to reveal that pretty two-toned rainbow striped pattern. You know I can't resist a few splatters, and so I added a few of those. I put a few drops of sugar cube ink refill on an acrylic block, picked it up with a water brush, and tapped it over my finger to add the splatters to the rainbow pattern. I'm using the mini slim square window cutting plate die to cut out the rainbow panel that I just created. I'll hold that in place with a little bit of removable tape and send that right through my die cut machine. The mini slim plate cuts the piece to 3 1/4 by 5 3/4 inches, so I cut a piece of sugar cube cardstock to match, and I'm adding pencil marks. I've layered the two pieces together, and I'm adding pencil marks in the corners so that I know where to stamp the little animals so they peek out of these windows on the die cut. So next I will take the Little Critters stamp set. I'm going to use all of the little magical creatures that are in the set, the dragon, the unicorn, and the yeti, and I'll position them on the sugar cube cardstock so that the bottom of the animal falls between those two pencil dots that I made. Once I have them in place, I'll close the lid of the MISTI to pick up the stamps. I'll ink them up with Oreo ink and stamp them onto the sugar cube cardstock. Once I have them stamped, I'll line those up with the die cut so you can see how perfectly they peek through those windows. Next, I'll color these little critters. I am going to color them by laying down a base color with Copic markers, and then I'll use the Prismacolored pencils to add shading and use Gamsol with paper stumps to blend my shading. Next, I'll add my sentiments to the rainbow panel. I am using the Have a Magical Day from the Little Critters stamp set, and I'm putting that between the bottom two windows. And then I'm using the Happy Birthday stamp from the Just Saying stamp set, and I'll add those between the two top windows. I'll line those up where I want them to go on the panel. I'll pick them up with the lid of the MISTI, and then I'll just check and make sure that sentiment looks straight by using the grid lines as a guide, and then I'll ink them up with Oreo ink and stamp them onto the rainbow panel. Now it's time to turn this into a shaker card. I have a piece of window acetate, and I just cut that about 2 inches wide, and the length of that panel, which is 5 3/4 inches long. And I'm using the 1/8 inch sticky tape to just run that around all the windows to hold that window acetate in place. If you haven't used foam sticky strips, they are absolutely a game changer when it comes to shaker cards. We're going to use that on the back to create the little sections that the shaker filler will sit in. What I'm going to do first is add a piece of the foam sticky strip across the top and bottom of each window. Now the great thing about sticky strips is they're the perfect length to do down the long part of the mini slim card. And so I'll just use one long piece and I'll attach it down and make sure that I connect with each of those short pieces of sticky strip that I added to the top and bottom of the windows. I'll add another sticky strip on the opposite side of the windows, and then I'll add a sticky strip to each edge of the panel so that it is supported on the card front. To attach the panel to the piece with the colored critters, I'm going to leave the adhesive paper backing on the 2 long strips on one side of the panel. This is so I can add my filler once I have everything attached together. It's a great way to do a shaker without making a great big mess. I can peel open the one side to access all of the little shaker windows, and I'm going to use the Bits and Pieces Sparkly Stars as my filler. I'm using a piece of scrap paper to make a funnel. If you have a small funnel, that would also work great. I'm rolling that paper up to create that funnel shape, and then I will stick the funnel into each shaker window and add the Bits and Pieces Sparkly Stars. Once all the filler is added, I can go ahead and take that paper backing off of those 2 long sticky strips, and then I'll just press everything firmly to make sure that everything is stuck in place where it should be. And that makes that shaker element for the card with 3 little windows. How cute is that? I'll add this to a toffee mini slim card base. I'm going to attach this with some sticky tape. This is the 1/4 inch wide. I want to make sure that this shaker stays where it needs to stay on the card. I'll add the strips down the back, and then I'll attach this right to the card front. This card is done, and it is ready to deliver a little bit of birthday magic. You can find supplies to create mini slim cards and the other supplies that I used to create this project in the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you next time.